Hi there, folks. Aaron Lynn from Aaron Lynn Real Estate Services here. Time for your monthly market update for March 2026. I used to call it the 1 minute monthly market update. It had a nice ring to it, but frankly, maybe I'm too in love with the sound of my own voice. There is a lot going on right now. I want to be able to make it concise, but tie everything in without glossing over anything for the sake of time. If you want me to talk till I'm blue in the face about anything specific, please give me a call. I'm happy to do that with you. But for the moment, let's just dive into the stats. So there were 465 sales in Victoria last month. That is a lot better than January. And of course, based on the month of the year, we expect to see some increased activity, but it was up about 40% from January. So that's a really robust number. It says that buyers are paying attention and sellers are pricing things realistically, at least for a segment of properties. What's interesting is, though, year to year, single family home sales from February 2025 to February 2026 were down 12%, and condo sales were down 20%. Now, those are big numbers, and those are numbers to pay attention to. Another thing is that about 5% of the listings right now, there's about 2,900 listings in Greater Victoria. The most sort of conservative realtors I know use 3,000 as the benchmark to say once we're over 3,000 listings, it's a buyer's market. Some other folks say 3,500 listings, but we're really on that cusp, and it looks like we're going to get more listings rather than less if the current trend continues. So we're heading in the right direction based on the time of year, but it's still a downward trend based on year to year. What's interesting is, as far as assessed values go, single-family homes are selling for about 4% above assessed, which I found sort of surprising. Condos across the board are selling about 3% less than assessed. It's hard to draw a straight line from any assessed value to a specific property, but on a painting with a very broad brush, I expected things to be below assessed, but single-family homes are still holding their weight. And you're going to find that it's still a very hot commodity. That single family home with a suite in the Victoria core between $1 million and $1.3 million, you're probably not going to have to wait very long if you're selling one of those. And if you plan on buying one of those, be prepared to move quickly. Be prepared to get into competing offers. Give me a call if you want to know what that looks like. But especially for first-time home buyers, something you should be talking to your realtor about is, if a listing's been sitting a long time, what's a lowball offer that we can come in with to start a conversation? And if you're looking for something very specific in a highly competitive market, good to have all your ducks in a row. Make sure you're pre-approved for your mortgage. Make sure you're working with a full-time realtor who's not going to be at their day job when that listing comes up, because more than enough times over the last week, and certainly over the last month, I've had people say, this is a great property that we're bringing to market. We already have 2 offers sort of in the can for when it hits MLS. And certainly I've been working with buyers where I send them something that day. They're just not ready. This actually just happened last month. They want to, take their time and think it over. Well, a week later, we bring an offer and there's already several competing offers. And at that point, you're probably competing above the asking price. So that's obviously not a situation anyone wants to be in. And I'll just say this to all my first-time home buyers. It's okay to feel a little trepidatious. If you're not a little bit scared, you're probably doing it wrong. But it's a lot easier to get out of first place based on the conditions in your offer. Make an offer right away, make sure it has conditions, and you can always back out. It's not going to cost you any money. But if somebody else beats you to the punch, it's almost impossible to get from second, third, or fourth place into first place. A lot of things have to happen for that to happen, and you're in control of very, very few of them. So a lot of listings on the market. Houses are still holding strong in terms of their relative value to assessed, but year over year, both houses and condos are down. One last thing to touch on. As we move into the spring market, the first couple of weeks of March have actually been a little bit slower for listings than expected. I'm not sure if that's sellers seeing, kind of reading the tea leaves that it's not a robust spring market yet, and they're not in a need to rush their property to market. Again, if you've got something that has a lot of curb appeal or has been updated, is basically ready to go to the market, price it accordingly, and you shouldn't have to wait long. If you've got a big project and you're pricing it like the work's already done, expect to wait a while. 6 out of 7 listings last month didn't sell. So if you're bringing something to the market, make sure it's good to go. And if you're a buyer entering the market, you are going to have a lot of selection. But remember, things that are priced right are going to move very quickly. They're not going to wait for you. So a lot of folks say, things will happen, things will work out. I firmly believe that things have a way of working out, but when opportunity knocks, you also have to be ready to answer. Any more specifics, I'm happy to chat with you. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to do a lot more of these. That's a big goal this year. We'll do monthly market updates as well as some fun video ideas coming up for you. So please subscribe and you don't miss them. Why would you want to miss any of this beautiful voice and beautiful face? And I'll try and include my cat next time. That's all for now. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.